The National Rifle Association on the Patriot Mobile Platinum microphone.
They're never going to stop us here.
Here is your host, the loudest conservative voice in America fighting the enemies of freedom, Mark Walters.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Greg in Dallas, Texas. We're late coming out of the gate today, man. Been a busy day.
Late?
You just said why? I mean, I'm sitting here trying to still get everything together,
Oh, okay. So you're a little slow getting ready for the show, but we're not late getting out of the gate.
Getting out of the gate. I should say I'm a little bit slow getting out of the gate. How's that?
There you
make
go.
it a
That
little
works.
better? Does that satisfy you so we don't argue?
Yeah.
Greg and I are like a married couple, You should hear us off air, ladies and gentlemen. It's brutal. I can't even bring it to the airwaves. Heavy 100, your history,
as it
dude.
should be.
Your history.
Producers should talk to show hosts the way I talk to you, because show hosts are way too big in their head.
Not this one. Why are you laughing at me? It's true.
Oh, no reason.
Okay, all right. That's true. Armed American Radio's Daily Defense begins right now. I am Mark Walters, your favorite Talkers Heavy 100 radio host.
Here he goes.
One of the 100 most important talk radio hosts shaping public opinion across America's airwaves for 2025. That's just a fact. That's not big-headed. I just repeated what they said about me in the show.
Okay.
We're not on Facebook today, ladies and gentlemen, and that's my fault because, well, I had everything set up and ready to go, and then I guess when I went to Facebook and started searching around for some stuff, it kind of screwed that all up.
Yeah, it'll do that.
It'll do that. So, if you like to watch it on Facebook, I apologize. But Greg, you can tell everybody else where to go and get watch us live on the other platforms we're on, and the chat and all that, and then we'll get cracking.
Yeah, sure. You can watch the show over on YouTube and Rumble. Just search for Armed American Radio with Mark Walters. Over on X, we're at AAR Mark. You can also head over to armedamericanradio.com or .org, hit that menu icon, and select that watch live or listen live option. If you want to join our live chat, just download Telegram, create your profile, and search for Armed American Radio Conversations.
Hey, by the way, I had a really good time with Andy Hoosier for an hour yesterday.
I bet you did.
Right after the show. We had a great time, but it was fun. Live radio is really something sometimes. Yeah. As you know all too well, Greg, it goes right down to the last split second. And years ago, that would panic me. It doesn't anymore because you just get used to it and you realize, well, it'll come together. It might just be literally the last second, right? And, well, his show was not the national program. It was coming out of KQAM.
Yep, this is his local show.
Right, so I was trying to dial into the network because I have him in my network as Hoosier Reason.
Yeah, and I went,
that's the wrong IP. So at exactly 5 after, the kid has to call my cell phone and go, where are you? I said, I'm rebooting, I'm trying to get in. And I was within 60 seconds able to re-put that IP in there. We had to go a segment on the phone and then come back. We were able to fix that. But, hey, it just happens. But if you were listening to the show yesterday, I hope you enjoyed it. Andy and I had a great time. He is, no doubt, in my estimation, in my opinion, one of the top 3 talk radio hosts, up-and-coming talk radio hosts in the country. He's that good. He is fantastic. All right, guys. So here's what we're going to do today. We've got Tim Roberts coming in from Patriots Relief. We're going to talk with Tim here in just a second for the first half hour of the program. And the second half hour, Mike from Arms Room Radio is going to be here. And we're going to talk a little bit about some of the latest news. Ninth Circus news coming out, Greg. Again, another victory in California. But remember, their governor is not, he's not anti-gun. He got him a new SIG P365.
Well,
judging by the way he was sitting during the interview, I would bet he's probably afraid of it. But that's,
Well, he's definitely not doing an appendix carry.
No. It's a P365. It's a SIG. We'll talk a little bit about that with Mike as well. A lot of panic out there, and it shouldn't be. SIG's getting a bad rap. Now, they have a PR issue. There's no question about it. But it can be fixed. It's just going to be interesting to see how it shakes down. So we'll talk about some of that stuff with Mike coming up. Let's go over to the phones, talk with Tim Roberts from Patriots Relief. Tim, welcome in, brother. How you doing, my man? It's good to have you on the show.
Good. Thanks for having me.
Oh, always a pleasure. So let's get your overall take on stuff, because I love talking politics with you. All right? Your company is Patriots Relief. We'll go to that product because I have questions about it myself. I'm a user of that. You're saying you're a user. That sounds kind of almost illegal, doesn't it? I'm a user.
Like
Doped up on weed.
it does give that
Doped up on weed.
appearance, right?
It gives that appearance. Yeah, so we got to be
Well,
FCC friendly. We can't use bad words and stuff like that. But let me just say this: your overall take, since we spoke last on the radio program, of where you see things going from a Patriots standpoint, are you happy and excited about the direction we're moving? Finally,
I'm frustrated at the dragging of the feet, or what appears to be dragging of the feet. It just, I think everybody was hoping for when they voted, and that everybody would just hit the ground running. I know we had to do confirmations, we had to go through all of that, and all of these people are new into these jobs, but. I look at Cash, and he's written books and been on Bannon's show all the time, and I'm thinking, man, this is going to be awesome. And I have to say I'm a little disappointed, but things are starting to move now, which is great. But I just feel like, we only have 4 years to fix a lot of crap. And
3.5 now, bro.
The clock's ticking. Yeah, the clock is ticking.
Well, let me try to make you feel a little better. Let me try to make you feel a little better. The feet dragging thing frustrates all of us. You are not alone by any stretch.
Right.
However, when you look at what's been accomplished since Inauguration Day, and guys, we're talking about overall, what this man has been able to accomplish has been mind-boggling, right? So to be fair about it, I think and myself included, I have to step back and breathe myself, because I want it all now, right? I want the ATF gonzo. At the very least, I want him defunded. Now, that's a budgetary discussion right now that the Republicans are having about ATF. Guys, we'll talk about that on Sunday. But like you, I want everything done. I want the ATF either defunded or gone, right? I want the National Firearms Act history, all right? I want my rights restored. I want all 50 states to be constitutional carry. North Carolina, by the way, there is movement there, by the way, folks. That if we get any information on that, we'll let you know. But it's looking pretty good in North Carolina right now. Hopefully, we can report some positive news there for you soon. But yeah, giving them the benefit of the doubt, you get into Washington, right? And all of a sudden you realize, good heavens, okay, this is a gigantic machine. And then when you've got people like Bondi who have an inclination to get out ahead of her skis, is what I've been saying about her. Big game, big talk, all this stuff, which I get it, campaigning, running, all this stuff. I get all that. Then you get in there and they realize, oh, man, it's not going to be as easy as I thought it was going to be. And I know Cash. I've talked with Cash before on more than one occasion. He's been on the show before he was running the FBI. So these guys have big plans. Guys being general, meaning Bondi, all et al., have big plans. And then they realize, but they've still been able to accomplish more, not only in the first 100 days, but in the first 4, 5, 6 months. Than any president in history. And the fact that it's driving the left berserk makes me feel real good. So I'm trying to approach this from a positive standpoint, right?
Absolutely. I mean, and I know it's like, trying to turn the Titanic with that little rudder, right? It's going to take some time, but, once they get it going, and no complaints at all about Trump. My gosh, that guy, I don't know how he does it. The amount of sleep he gets, the always just taking the questions and calling out fake news for being fake news, and it's so entertaining most of the time. But he is getting stuff done.
It is entertaining. And look, we would be remiss if we don't mention this today. Just in the last couple of days, okay, we've lost Ozzy Osbourne, legend. Today we lose Hulk Hogan at 71 years old. He passes away. Apparently, it was a heart attack.
Theo Huxtable?
Huxtable, right? That would be Malcolm Jamal Warner. Yep. Caught in what apparently, I guess, was a riptide.
He drowned.
He drowned, and I just, at a very young age.
The guy from Golden Earring.
We had Chuck Mangione pass away. Connie Francis just passed away. All right, so, it's been a sad week. That's a lot of American icon there and a lot of American pop culture, right? But so we would be remiss if not saying that we, good heavens, let's hopefully that's the end of it for the week. My gosh.
Yeah, I just I just think about Ozzy, and I think, I wonder what Randy Rhoads and Ozzy are doing for Jesus right now, playing some good stuff.
I saw a meme today along those lines of Ozzy with his arms up, and Jimi Hendrix and all the rest of them just welcoming him in with open arms. And that, I guess you would refer that to that as the 27 Club, right? Most of them. And Ozzy outlived a lot of them, including Well, Keith Richards is probably looking at that going, oh my God, how did I do that? How did Ozzy outlive, how do I outlive Ozzy?
Right. Right.
He thought he'd been gone. Listen, we're getting ready to take a break, Tim. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation. Fun to talk about. We got some other things I want to talk with you about. And I do want to talk about your products because I personally have some questions about them. And it was in the news today, some of the CBD stuff. And I want you to explain what it is you offer because the stuff works for me, ladies and gentlemen. And that's why I want Tim in here today because if it'll work for me, it'll likely work for you. So we'll let him toot that horn when we come back right after this break. We'll be back with Tim Roberts from Patriots Relief. Don't go away right after this. Yeah. Did you run his show today?
I do every day.
Okay, good. So we'll talk about that. We'll toot our own horns. And, his picture appears right next to mine, Greg. The following segment of Armed America's Daily Defense is being brought to you by Patriot Mobile. Visit patriotmobile.com/AAR and use the AAR promo code to get free activation today. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the show indeed. Mark Walters here at the Patriot Mobile Communication and Command Center. In front of the Patriot Mobile Communication and Command Center microphone, and it's all being brought to you by the National Rifle Association. Patriot Mobile was scheduled to be here. Scott Coburn, one of the execs, was going to be here, a regular guest today, but Patriot Mobile has an all-hands-on-deck call today because they are fighting for your right to keep and bear arms. They're making some appearances, and the whole group, the management group, is together talking about that, and we'll talk with them next week about what it is they're up to. And if everything works out right, I'll be with Patriot Mobile in, let's see, this is the 24th, about 3 weeks in Knoxville, Tennessee, just to go up and hang out with them at the GOA convention. In the meantime, I'm going to play a Charlie Kirk piece in the coming segment, not right now, but in the next half. And we're going to take Charlie Kirk to task. Wow, that's weird to say anyway, because I tend to agree with Charlie, and I'm a big fan of Charlie's. We'll talk about that in the next segment as well. So that's what you've got coming up. PatriotMobile.com, ladies and gentlemen. Support them. This is a Patriot Mobile phone. You can have one as well. PatriotMobile.com/AAR. PatriotMobile.com/AAR. They can be found on our page at armedamericanradio.com or .org with all of our great partners, including Tim Roberts' company, Patriots Relief. Let's get back to Tim. Tim, how you doing, brother? Welcome back.
Good. Thanks, man.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about your products. And I have to tell you that I'm out of my favorite product, and that's the emu oil.
Yeah.
The CBD infused.
Put some in the mail
oil.
for you today.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. You know, I get up every morning, and I've been playing a lot of guitar for hours a day for the last couple and a half years, and probably shouldn't be doing it the way I'm doing it, but my wrist is killing me on my left hand, and that stuff works for me. You know, when I wake up with any shoulder pain or anything like that, I had a knee in a brace a while back because you know how talk radio hosts, it's a very, very physically difficult job to do. So somehow talk
like
radio hosts
climbing mountains.
Yeah, right.
Like
I mean,
mountains.
somehow I tore my meniscus, and I had a 1.3 centimeter fracture in my knee. People don't understand how difficult it is being a talk radio host and how much activity you get to your knee. You know, they don't see me kicking like Pele during the breaks, right? But anyway, the stuff works for me, man. So tell me why, and tell me about some of the other products that you have that if I look at the site, I almost feel kind of overwhelmed because there's so much there.
Yeah, that's it. There is just so much. And so I always tell people, unless you know exactly what you're looking for and understand how everything works, just give us a call, 877-230-1776. Either one of my daughters or myself will answer the phone, and you know, we'll ask you a few questions, talk to you a little bit, figure out what's going on, and just make some suggestions of things that will help. But we always talk, you were talking about our intensive or maximum relief rub, which is a topical, and
it's amazing.
That topical, it changes people's lives, including my own. I mean, my knees, my big toe on my left foot, but the other part that's just as important, as but not more important, is fueling that endocannabinoid system, the ECS, with CBD that you know, CBD was an oil, and you put it underneath your tongue and it's absorbed right straight into your bloodstream, fueling that system. Because most people don't understand that our bodies have this whole system that's designed to maintain balance, right? It's designed to maintain homeostasis, keep you in balance. And that system is actually supposed to produce its own cannabinoids, 2 different ones actually. And these cannabinoids communicate with these CB receptors that you have all over your body, CB1, CB2 receptors. So what happens, age, environment, genetics, this system just either slows down or stops its own production. You'll see it in all animals, right? Like you'll see a dog that's, you know, maybe a dog that would live to be 16, 17 years old. When they get to be about 12 or so, they start slowing down. They can't jump up in the back of the truck or up into bed. They can't go on such long walks, even though they want to. You put them on CBD, and within a day, they're right back. You know, you turn the clock back 3, 4, 5 years. It's amazing. But the same thing happens with people. So that system is just starving for the CBD, for the cannabinoids. And so CBD is a plant-based cannabinoid, but it functions perfectly with the body. So you bring that internally in, you fuel that system, it can start, you know, function in the way that it's supposed to in your body, and finding things that aren't quite right and telling the brain, hey, we got to fix this. So that's the internal. And you can do that also with a gummy. You can do it with a soft gel, but the most effective way is that oil you put under your tongue.
Mm-hmm.
And then
is
the
that
thing
what
you
they
were
refer
talking
to
about
as the tincture? Is that what you call that?
the tincture. Yeah. I just
okay, make sure I'm
kind
pronouncing that right.
Yeah, I just try to get away from that word because everyone's like, what's a tincture? Tincture. Yeah, it's just literally
Oh, that's fun to
CBD.
say.
Yeah, it is. CBD, endocannabinoid system is also fun to say for those that are going to say it, and you can say endocannabinoid deficiency syndrome, right? You can say that one. But that's basically that your body is not producing its own age, environment, genetics, just like I said. So, and then under the tongue is the best way to get it in there. So that's the internal. That's fueling the system. Then we have those topicals, which you just talked about, the one with the emu oil. That's our one that gets really deep because that emu oil helps with the penetration. So that gets way
incredible.
down deep. It is.
And you know, when that stuff works, let me stop you real quick, because that stuff works for me within 60 seconds.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
I start feeling
people.
relief literally immediately. And I've never had anything do that. And guys, I want to point out, we're not talking about Cheech and Chong gummies here, okay? Stuff you're going to go to your dispensary and get, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. That's not what this is for.
Right.
We're talking about literal medical, you know, if you've got, I'm going to use, I guess, like a sciatica, right? A lot of people complain. You've got lower back pain.
Yep.
That CBD stuff, it works for me. I can only tell you what works for me, and that stuff works for me. And you've got great products here. Go ahead.
Yeah, so some of the other topicals we have is like our Soothing Relief Gel. That's more like a icy hot. But once again, you're just getting that in, and that's like muscle, right? You work out, post-workout, that type of stuff. And then we've got this new product since I've been on with you guys called our Super Release Salve, which is an all-natural. It's got all these different essential oils along with 2,000 milligrams of CBD with these different oils in there and creams, and it's great for skin healing. Somebody might have like a dry feet or my feet. I'm just going to admit this on air. My feet have always smelled like. I started using this on my feet just to moisturize them. I'm like, wow. I didn't realize now all the foot odor is gone because the ingredients in here kill the bacteria and the fungus and the stuff that cause those odors. So it's a product that just has a lot of uses. We have our weight loss system, which people have a great success with. We have our hair and scalp formula. We just have a lot of different products. So anything you're dealing with, just pick up the phone, give us a call. We've actually, I bumped you guys for today and tomorrow because I know a lot of your listeners might just listen to your podcast later on tonight or whatever, think they might miss out on it. I've bumped you guys up to 45 off and free shipping. As most people know, they can either just go to the site and enter that AAR as a promo code, or just go to patriotsrelief.com/AAR, and it's automatically going to be applied to their shopping cart.
Guys, the stuff works. Tim, I have to stop you because I know we're getting ready to take a break, but I do want to point this out. I had my annual physical today, and I told my doctor what I was using from Patriots Relief today. He loves the stuff. Absolutely loves this stuff, and I got a great clean bill of health today. Ladies and gentlemen, it works, okay? And if your feet stink like Tim's do, fix it. The product.
Thanks for that one, Mark. Thanks for that one.
I love you, Tim. Thanks. We'll bring you back soon. Thanks for everything you do, man. And a true freedom fighter, ladies and gentlemen. That's Tim Roberts from Patriots Relief. We'll be back with Mike from Arms Room Radio. Don't go away. We're going to play some Charlie Kirk for you. You'll love it. Rifle Association. Help us defend freedom by visiting nra.org/AAR and join today. Welcome back to the show. Yeah, welcome back to the show indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Armed American Radio, of course, is being brought to you every single day by the National Rifle Association. And if you are a member, or maybe you let your membership lapse, mine did. It was an accident, but it did. If you want to join, or if you want to rejoin the NRA, it's real simple to do. Just nra.org/AAR. And when you do that, if you are signing up for the 1 year or the 3 year membership, you're going to get a free range bag. They are flying off the shelves, so you want to do it quickly and take advantage of that. We might swap out for a different product, I understand, when those are gone, and that's happening quickly, so we're planning for that ahead of time. But either way, it's going to be a good one, and you're going to get free stuff, and that's cool. A range bag for a 1 year or 3 year membership. It's $35 using the promo code AAR. It's $85 for the 3 year, $35 for the 1 year. If you want to go 5 year like I did, I think it's $1.25, maybe $1.35. I'll have to double check that for you. I should know that. But I think it's $125 for 5 year. That's a great bargain. Or $1,000 for a life membership. And if you do the 5 year or life, you get the binoculars at 10x42. And they're super high quality. They come with a case, come with the lens covers, the whole 9 yards. You can do all of that and join the National Rifle Association, who, by the way, we're going to talk about some cases today with Mike from Arms Room Radio that the NRA is involved in, working very close, hand in hand, with the other gun rights organizations around the country that never occurred the way they were. They just wanted to say they did it. And they might have had a case out there, but, man, they are working hand in hand now. New management, new organization. Help us, ladies and gentlemen. It's real simple to do, and it's cheap. If you don't want to donate afterward, that's fine. But join us regardless. This is new management, a new team doing the right things, going in the right direction, fighting for your gun rights, not just across the country, nationally, but also individually at state legislatures across the country. And we need your support to do that. Help the National Rifle Association get back on their feet to a point where because they're already the 800-pound gorilla. We want to get them back to the 1,000-pound gorilla, okay? Every gun owner should be a member of the National Rifle Association. Cut and dry. You own a gun, you should be a member of the NRA. It's that simple. Start looking forward with us. Quit looking back. That's what we're asking you to do. So give the National Rifle Association a chance if you were like many other people that just said, I'm not going to wait. I'm going to wait until LaPierre's gone. They're all gone. Now's the time. Help us out. NRA.org/AAR. And you can find all of our other great partners at armedamericanradio.org. Mike Piwaworski, Arms Room Radio. How you doing, brother? Great to have you here, man.
I was going to say it's a great day, but how many more heroes we're going to lose today?
We opened up the show. I don't know if you were listening at the outset, but good heavens. And I just found out, Greg notified me as well. Those of you a little bit older, like your classic rock and roll, Golden Earrings, I guess, guitarist, Greg? Is that who it was?
Yeah, that's right.
George Coymans just passed away. And if you remember Golden Earring, that's, I don't remember the lyrics, but it was Radar Love. Yeah, Radar Love, right? I've been driving all night, my hands wet on the wheel, right? Oh, man. So, yeah, it's been a rough week, man, losing some American icons, Mike.
What is it with the musicians? Every time a musician dies, Keith Richards experiences the quickening. There could be only one.
Yeah, guys, if you've ever watched Highlander shows, man, and that was one of my favorite series when it was on. Hey, Mike, I'm going to play a clip from Charlie Kirk. And I'm a big Charlie Kirk fan. I love the way Charlie Kirk does what he does. When he gets to the college campuses and he sits there, he never gets rattled. No matter what attack comes at him, he is as cool as a cucumber. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to play a clip here where he's asking a guy, do you view gun ownership as a right or a privilege? And I want you to hear this kid's response. He was coming at it from an honest but uninformed position, Mike, I think. Charlie had a good conversation with him right up to the end. So I'm going to play this. I'm going to go old school and just hold it up to the microphone so you guys can hear it. Greg's going to push the volume up. This is Charlie Kirk having a conversation somewhere on a campus. Here we go.
Gun ownership as a right or as a privilege?
I would probably lean more towards privilege, because obviously there are some people that I don't think should be able to have a gun in their hand.
So we believe that owning a firearm is a right of the population, not a privilege. And in order to take rights away, there must be a very, very high threshold. For example, we do believe that your right to free movement can be taken away. It's called prison, right?
Yeah.
So we're not saying that you do not have, there's not circumstances where rights can't be taken away, but there must be a threshold for that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
To see where we're coming from. Because we look at government, that is something that is abused quite often, where there's a lot of bureaucracy, there's a lot of lying, and I know veterans that have had their guns taken away from them that were deemed to be mentally unstable, and it's a very subjective thing, right? They have good months, they have bad months, and there's not an easy solution to it at all. But the debate in America right now with guns is it a right or is it a privilege? And you've come at it in very good faith and good spirit. You say it's more of a privilege. It's fine. A lot of Americans agree with you. We think it's a right. Maybe there's a way to reconcile the two.
So Charlie was doing great right up to that point. There is no way to reconcile the two, Mike. Owning a gun is a right. End of discussion. So I don't know where I don't know where his thought process was. And ladies and gentlemen, and Mike, before I go to you to turn it over to you, I want to point out that I'm a big fan of Charlie Kirk's. In fact, Greg was saying I have a big head, but his picture is right next to mine on the Salem Radio Network page, guys. I had to throw that out for you, Greg. Okay. Listen, I mean, I know that if I were having a conversation with Charlie Kirk about this, he would be open to discussing this and that comment that he just made. Mike, can we reconcile the two? There's no reconciling the two. It's a right, period.
Yeah. Listen, on its face value, what he said, listen, I have no idea what got said after that. I haven't seen that interview. And I have no idea if we talked to him right now, Mark, he would have said, no, I was going to try and negotiate something else with him. I have no idea. But on the face value of, can we find a blend between the two? The answer is no. The right is, it's not even a right given to us by our government. It's a right given to us by our maker that our government just was nice enough to put in writing for us.
Smart enough.
Yes,
to put in writing. Nice enough. I know where you're going with that, but obviously, and I'm not arguing with you on that. You're right. Thank God they did. Okay. Thank God they recognized it and codify it. Now look, and I know you agree with me, but every human being has a right to keep and bear arms. Every human being. Just because you can't go to Great Britain or Australia and carry a firearm in defense of your life because they're man-made laws say so, doesn't mean that Australian citizens and British citizens do not have the inherent God-given right to use a firearm to defend themselves. It simply means their government took it from them.
Right.
So that's the danger, right?
Exactly right. And look what continues to go on. How many times do you have to hear coming over from Great Britain that they're using cars to plow into people. They're using narwhal tusks off the walls and bars to defend themselves from people with good guns and knives. It's never going to work. You're never going to be able to stop violence. And why not let the individual that wants to protect himself have the best and most efficient way to protect himself?
Did you say narwhal tusks?
Yeah, you didn't see that. That was probably about 10 years ago on the London Bridge attack when they were chasing people down, when radical Islam were chasing people down with knives and swords. The people in a bar in one of the pubs pulled a narwhal tusk off the wall to defend themselves.
What is a narwhal tusk? I don't know what that is.
Okay, everybody thinks it's like a magical being, and it was in the movie Elf, I believe. It's that whale with the giant tusk that comes out of its nose, but it's real.
Okay. Yep. And
It's
so
like
Greg knows, right? I did not know that. I learned something new every time I talk to Mike, particularly about baseball, that I thought I knew, and I didn't. Mike has a way to humble me from time to time, but that's okay. And so does Earl. I will just say that. Anybody who's ever listened to Arms Room Radio understands that one. But, I didn't know what that was. But I don't care what it is they're using. I don't care if it's a narwhal tusk. I don't care if it's a farwhal tusk. I don't care what you call it.
Yep.
You have a right to use whatever you have to. And, I have that funny saying, right? No caveman, never leave your cave without your club.
Right.
No caveman would have ever left his cave without his club. And we know that to be the case. They faced a lot of, ladies and gentlemen, you have a right to defend yourself. And I would be interested. Greg, you run the Charlie Kirk show every day, don't you?
Yeah.
Just like you run this one.
Yeah. Well, not quite like this one, but I'm a link in the chain for it to get to the satellites, yes.
Right, exactly. So we would love to have a conversation with Charlie about that. I know we're on the same page with that. I just would like to find out maybe why he worded that. I think maybe he was talking about, he's open to having that discussion. And then maybe that's the difference, because I'm not. The debate is over, ladies and gentlemen. The debate ended December 15th, 1791. It was done. Okay? There is no debate. It is not a privilege. It is a right. And government intrusion and infection into that right is what turns it into a privilege. That's why we're here to fight against that every single day. We have another segment with Mike from Arms Room Radio. We'll talk about the Ninth Circus right after this. Mics are live. The following segment of Armed American Radio is being brought to you by attorneysonretainer.com. Attorneysonretainer.com. Visit them today. Welcome back to the show. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, again, one of the no-brainer, it's just one of the stupid things, right? There are certain things that you just need to do. Attorneys on Retainer. And I spoke with Eric over there a couple days ago. We're going to have Andy on the show coming up real soon. If maybe this coming Sunday, he's great to talk. We love talking to the self-defense attorneys, ladies and gentlemen, because they give us perspectives on things from the legal side that we might not think about. And we've had attorneys on the program over many years, going back all the way to Alan Gura during the fight over at the Heller decision in 2008, who argued that case just brilliantly. So we love our self-defense attorneys, and attorneys on retainer. There's a reason, because if you carry a firearm, you should really have some protection, because you don't want to find yourself behind the 8 ball and go, golly, that guy's so obnoxious, but he was right. Now I need an attorney, and now you're mortgaging everything you have, and your life is over financially. You could be going to prison. Attorneys on retainer, even more important than that, believe it or not, will defend you in any self-defense back case. Any self-defense case. Doesn't matter whether you use a narwhal, what do you call it, Mike from Arms Room?
Narwhal tusk.
Whether you use a narwhal tusk, whether you're a prohibited possessor and you use a firearm, they will defend you. They are your attorneys. They do not walk away from you. There are no exclusions. It is attorney-client privilege immediately, right out of the box, and it's real easy to do, to have it for $35 a month, $25 a month for family members like I have. So each one of us, we all 4 in my family carry a gun, $25 a head. It's really simple to do. attorneysonretainer.us/AAR. Take advantage of these things that we offer for you. It is so important. Do not be that person that says, well, it's not going to happen to me. Well, then why are you carrying a gun? If you don't think it can happen to you, maybe you ought to reconsider whether or not you should carry a gun. If you are carrying a gun, you understand that it can happen to you. And if it can happen to you, do you want legal protection immediately or not? That's the question you have to answer for yourself. attorneysonretainer.us/AAR answers that question for you and provides you an amazing service. Peace of mind, ladies and gentlemen, for $35 a month. Have it. Use that promo code, attorneysonretainer.us/AAR, and visit all of our great partners. Again, you can find them all at armedamericanradio.com or .org. Mike, welcome back. So we have some big news out of the Ninth Circus yet again. Okay? It seems that the victories are piling up out of the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. But are they really? Because it never seems to be, we never get an end. There's always another, there's always another appeal, et cetera, out of the Ninth Circus. But as it stands right now, the latest deal is, Greg, you were mentioning Ninth Circus. There's been a number of them over the past few months coming out of the Ninth Circus. But this one in particular does what, Greg?
Yeah, there's, are we talking about the background check one?
The background check.
Ammo?
That's the ammo.
Yep.
Yeah, the ammo background check. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. And Mike, you're familiar with this. Will they ever stop?
Will they ever? Mark, I think there is light at the end of the tunnel. I don't know how soon it's going to be. Listen, there's 29 judges in that district. It's the biggest district in the United States, or excuse me, circuit in the United States. Right now, there's 13 Republican-appointed judges on there. 10, by the way, from Donald Trump.
Right.
For those that say he never did anything for gun rights. 10 that are Donald Trump, 3 for Bush, and the rest are all Democrat appointees. So 16 to 13. And you remember, 8 years ago, Mark, it was 27 to 2.
Correct.
Something ridiculous like that. And
you can thank Donald Trump for that,
there's
folks.
a light at the. Yep, that's right. What makes me think there's light at the end of the tunnel, of the last couple of rulings that have come out from them on the 3-judge panel, it's been Democrats voting for gun rights. It's been a big, not all of them, but we've had probably 60-70% of those Democrats voting for gun rights.
Yeah, you've also, and this is going to wind up going to the Ninth Circus as well at some point, but you also had a judge in California throw out the Los Angeles Sheriff's request for dismissal on summary judgment to get rid of the permit delay case. That just happened out of the LA Sheriff's Department. So what's that all about? To put it in a nutshell, folks, he was taking his sweet time up to, as long, from what I understand, Mike, as long as 2 years to issue permits. Now, California state statutes call for no later or no more than 120 days. And they were just getting away with it all day long. All day long. So what does he do? He gets sued. And he goes, well, okay, let's just give them their permits, and then we'll just file for a motion for dismissal because, well, it's moot now because we gave them their permits. And a judge said, yeah, no, They still have standing, and they can still sue you on blank grounds. We'll talk in greater detail about that over the weekend, hopefully with Mr. Gottlieb, ladies and gentlemen. But there's been a lot of very positive rulings coming out of the Ninth Circuit and some of the local district judges coming out of California relative to our gun rights. Mike, I think there's light at the end of the tunnel as well, but I want to put an asterisk by that, right? Because it's California. There's still 15 ongoing cases there, and they're going to continue to throw everything they can at us in California because they have super majorities and they can. Therefore, they will. Or am I wrong?
No, they will. And listen, California doesn't care. We know that. Their Attorney General there, Bonta, is going to continue to throw these cases back up. He's going to continue to file suit no matter when they go against him or when a new law is created that's pro-gun. He's going to file suit against them. He's going to tie it up. And the people of California, they're the ones that are paying for this. Every time he files a suit, that's not coming out of his pocket. That's coming out of the hard-pressed people of California that are barely making enough money to live in that state as it is.
All right, let me switch gears with the next minute and a half that we have. Our good friend Tom Gresham has put a tweet out earlier today. We obviously, ladies and gentlemen, Tom from Gun Talk, the man himself, a legend. None of us would be doing this genre of radio if it were not for Tom Gresham, now in his 30th year, in his 31st year. It's an incredible run. North Carolina, this was his tweet, North Carolina will make it 30 states that have permitless carry. And, he's got over, I think, 14,000, 15,000 views on this, 156 retweets and about 34 comments on this with 1.3 thousand and growing likes on this. Now, interesting, because I can't find anything yet out there to make me believe yet that they're going to be able to override this. But if you go to the piece that he has put up here from NC Newsline out of North Carolina Senate will vote to override Stein's vetoes on concealed guns, DEI, and immigration next week. Now, this was an article from the 21st. I hadn't covered this yet, Mike, other than to say what I just said, because I don't know yet. But I do know they are going to vote to override the veto next week. Will North Carolina, what's your gut tell you, or do you know any more than I do? Will North Carolina be able to override this? They're going to need two Republicans.
They're holding this one close to the vest. Nobody's gone in and taken the straw poll and published anything. Do I think they can get two? I think they could get to. I think this governor there has a way of making deals beforehand to get his way.
Yeah, here's the numbers as it stands, because we would love to see North Carolina. North Carolina has some weird gun laws, and you wouldn't think that would be the case in what you would think to be a southern conservative state. But there's a large liberal contingency in the Triangle Park area, right? In the Raleigh-Durham area, et cetera, in North Carolina. But they hold in the Senate. Say that again, Greg. I'm sorry.
Coming up on break.
Okay, coming up on a break. Mike, I apologize. But here's the way the numbers go. They hold a 30-20 veto-proof supermajority in the Senate. It's a little bit more precarious in the House, where the GOP holds a 71-49 advantage. However, if I'm not mistaken, they need two Republicans who defected. If everyone is there, they will need every single Republican there to vote. And if everyone does that, if all members are present and voting, they can override this veto. So fingers are crossed for next week. Mike Piwaworski, 30 seconds. Where can people listen to you on Arms Room Radio, brother?
Go to armsroomradio.com. It's armsroomradio.com. We're live Saturdays 3 to 5, or you can find all the previous shows anywhere you find podcasts.
Yeah, and every once in a while I call in and talk to you guys and Earl, and it's always a lot of fun. Sometimes I interrupt them when they didn't know I was going to call in, and it's always a blast. Thanks, Mike. Love you, man. Looking forward to seeing you soon in Salt Lake City. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get up and do it again tomorrow because they don't want us to. Enjoy what's left of your day. We'll see you on the radio.
You just filled your prescription for freedom with Mark Walters.
Presented by the National Rifle Association. The National Rifle Association on the Armed American Radio Network.
All right, guys. Thanks for being here today. Appreciate it very much. Please go out of your way. Visit all of our partners. You can find them all at armedamericanradio.com, armedamericanradio.com. We've got some great partners. We're really proud of our sponsorships. And these guys are supporting your right to keep and bear arms. Support them. They have great products, everything that you need. Bud's Gun Shop online, our #1 exclusive retailer, across the board. Bud's is fantastic. BudsGunShop.com. They have everything you need, and you need and want everything that they have. I can promise you that. It's just a smorgasbord over there. But they're still doing, from what I understand, nobody's told me not to say it, the 30 days, buy a gun, check it out for 30 days, don't like it, give it back. Pretty much that simple. Great way to buy a gun. Daniel Defense is going to cover the tax stamp for you right now. It's up on their website. Came out, I believe, yesterday or today. But if you want to buy an SBR or one of their suppressors right now, because remember that $200 tax stamp is going away, but if you want to buy it, they're going to cover it for you. So you're not going to pay it. It's all done right there on their website. Go check them out. I was looking at their M4V7 SBR today, and I may have to pull the trigger on that. I've been reluctant to do so for a lot of different reasons, not the least of which is my relationship with the ATF over all these years. But I think it's time to squeeze the trigger on that one. So I'll keep you posted and let you know what I do. But they are covering the tax stamp for you, Daniel Defense, at DanielDefense.com. All of our great partners, you can find them all at Armed American Radio. Enjoy what's left of your day, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you on the radio tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. See you on the radio, guys. Thanks for being here.